Yo, hi Neil.
Hey, Precious, how are you?
I'm good. Welcome to today's episode. This
Good.
is episode 12 of the 10x Developer Podcast. You all are welcome.
Today might be
So,
interesting. Today is actually officially holiday in US, Memorial Day.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I saw
it's a long
my
weekend.
calendar notified me Memorial Day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we'll see.
nice.
But we have lots of news, right? Last week has been wild.
I think this is by far the most
Biggest.
the week where we're having the
Yeah,
highest news because
yeah.
this week
So
we
yeah,
had
yeah.
Microsoft Build, Google I/O. We also had
Claude.
Claude did one thing, code with Claude or
Yeah.
something like that, and then we
Is it by
have
design? Is it by design that they all do their sort of um like this conferences like a same week? You
I
gotta be
think
one,
yeah, I think some of them
right?
they
It's kind
want
of
to
weird though.
do.
It's
Yeah,
yeah,
it's weird. So I can remember last year on the week of Google I/O,
yeah.
um, OpenAI announced a feature, something like I think it was
Mm, mm,
Sora voice feature, right? They
mm,
announced it on that week.
mm,
So Google
mm,
I/O is big, so everybody tries to be in on
mm,
what's going on so that they don't get
mm.
to lose out on all that.
Speaking
So
of
yeah,
OpenAI, I mean, we are not even covering this. There was a big announcement too, right? Didn't they buy a
yeah,
hardware
yeah, yeah.
company
Yeah, they have
called
this.
IO? Funny enough, the company is called
Funny
IO
enough.
from John Ivy, that whole the Apple designer guy.
The Apple designer guy, yeah. So all
Yeah,
those things happened this week. It's crazy. It's
yeah, it's
crazy.
crazy,
A lot of
crazy.
interesting stuff.
We're having a curation issue now. It's getting challenging. All right, I'm going to
Yeah.
jump in. Because we have a lot of things to cover. The first story we have is, which I thought was interesting, that finally OpenAI now has support for MCP. MCP is obviously becoming this standard, right? It's the
Yeah.
USB-C for AI, right? It allows you to connect to just a quick refresher. MCP is a weapon standard created by Anthropic, which is an open protocol for, which is like an USB-C, like a universal connector for any AI model, any
Yeah.
applications with external tools and data. So if you want to connect to your web browser, your data source, any other web server, any tools, MCP provides a standard interface for that.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this because OpenAI's API is sort of a standard way to build apps on LLMs. So having them a standard interface to also use MCP, I think simply going to simplify lots of stuff. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
a really great development here.
Yeah. So I've been wondering, is MCP the single most universal thing that we've seen out of AI in the last 1 year? Because I
Yeah.
mean, everybody's adopting MCP. Nobody's saying, "Oh, we are not going to do that," or "We are going to do that." So everybody's coming is
Yeah.
adopting
I mean,
it.
it's a pain, right? It solves a bunch of problems that we all have building applications. There's no standard way to do this. Oh, I have my whole SharePoint in here. I have this weird data source in here. I want to my model to use it. How to do that?
Yeah,
And we had this era of, oh, we're going to build rags and all that complicated crap. It
yeah,
just simplifies a lot of stuff. I think the next standard protocol going to become the agent-to-agent protocol.
yeah. The agent-to-agent protocol. Because these
Mhm.
agents, I believe they are going to need to talk to themselves. Yeah,
Yeah, which
for them
which
to
is
be.
interesting because our main story is we are
Yeah, our
working on
main
something
story is
really
going
exciting
to.
with that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
let's keep that. I think we leave that for the main story. So,
Okay, okay.
talking about MCP, so Microsoft announced during the Microsoft build that
Uh-huh.
they joined the MCP steering committee and they contribute to the MCP ecosystem. And I
Nice,
think
nice.
that's why I'm saying that it is the single most universal thing we've seen
Mm,
in the era of AI adoption. So the
mm,
signal this commitment signal a commit it signaled a commitment to open standards for AI agents. So Microsoft and GitHub announced that they've joined the module context protocol steering committee. Right.
uh,
So now, of course, just like Nilanjan said, interoperability, where agent, you get to interact with a lot of stuff, where it's it benefits everybody. You know, the protocol MCP benefits everybody. You can be able to talk to
Yeah,
different data sources. You can be able to talk to different things. You can even be able to talk to, some
yeah,
different. You can I think it's limitless when I look at MCP and what the possibilities of what can be possible. So I can have some bunch of data in my Microsoft Excel, and then I can be able to tell this agent, hey, do this using this Excel, and then when you are
mm,
done, put it in a Google Docs, right? Like it's taking
mm,
something from Excel, it works on it, and then it puts it in a Google Doc for me. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah. And I think they have done it quite a good implementation. The link I shared,
yeah,
it has a bunch of examples how MCP is integrated. I think it's going to feel very natural. If you already have used OpenAI's Agents SDK, so
yeah,
it's just no brainer. You just plug in your whatever MCP server you want to connect to, and
yeah,
it will naturally just going to pick up the tools and the stuff that the server is exposing for you. So it's
yeah,
super easy. So anyone can quickly kind of upgrade to this.
yeah. I think
So which
everyone
is
can.
interesting, you said about Microsoft Build. Didn't they say that Windows will also natively support MCP now, the operating
Yeah,
system?
yeah. So
Yeah, cool,
they said
cool.
Windows will natively support MCP. Yeah,
Mhm. Okay.
I think
So,
they came
hmm,
first. Microsoft Build came first. Did a lot of
yeah,
announcement before IO later
yeah,
in the week.
yeah. I mean, we need to cover a bunch of Microsoft stuff too. I know they didn't make this week's cut, but next week we might explore some of the news stories from there. All right, the next
Yeah,
one is, which made lots of buzz, obviously, throughout the AI world here, especially in the developer community, is the Claude's new Claude 4 release. They
yeah,
released two new AI models called Claude Opus 4 and Claude Sonnet 4. Claude Sonnet 4. I already moved to Claude Sonnet 4 actually in my workflow. I'm
yeah.
not. It's too early to say whether it's performing better, but by next week I'll have a feeling whether it's actually doing better. But on the benchmarks, obviously, it's outperforming most of the models out there. Claude Opus 4 is especially designed for coding, so I have seen lots of examples people doing that. Again, you know me, I'm very skeptical when people show, oh, look, I built this app in 5 minutes. But when you throw real world
Yeah,
problems, that's when you actually figure out whether how effective these models are. But Claude has always been really the cutting edge in coding models, right? I mean, it
yeah,
performs better than anything out there. They added extended thinking mode, obviously, which helps you if you're allowing these models to solve complicated problem in your code base. So this is a great release. In fact, they started adding something which I thought was fascinating, is safety measures, because these models are getting so powerful right now. So you
yeah,
obviously have to consider all the attack vectors, right? Can someone use this model to do bad things, right? And
yeah,
so the whole sorts of alignment problem. So this is deployed. The Claude Opus 4 is deployed under AI Safety Level 3. I need to understand what those levels are for. But the reason I mentioned this because I think somewhere there was a leak happened. The safety what they call it, the alignment officer AI safety team in Anthropic released something accidentally, I think, where
mm,
Claude, I don't know how true this is. I mean, this is probably, so Claude Opus 4, if it detects that you're trying to do something bad with the model, it will inform the law enforcement departments that someone is trying
wow,
to misuse this model. Yeah, I don't know how
wow.
crazy it sounds, like Hollywood movie,
Yeah,
completely, but we have to start thinking about those things, though, right? I mean, these models
yeah.
are
We
becoming
have
so,
to.
so
We have to.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because these agents are getting way more powerful. I mean, every day we see them getting powerful and powerful. So we need to start putting some checks here and there to make sure that they don't go haywire and then just
yeah,
eliminate all
yeah.
humans and take over.
Right,
Right.
right, right. I
So,
know, I know. That person deleted his tweet after that or something. I
oh,
know there
wow.
was all sorts of conspiracy stories around this and memes. But anyway, I
Yeah,
shared the link out there. That link, that Fellow AI does a really good job of explaining all the features that released on Claude 4. So go check it out.
yeah. Nice cloud. So I guess this is the time we get into Google. Right. So guys, Google I/O
Mhm.
last week, it was crazy. When I say it was crazy that It was so crazy that Google had to do a blog, and this and the title of the blog is 100, is it 100 crazy things or 100 interesting things we announced at Google I/O. Like they announced a lot of interesting stuff. Last year, I can remember the meme last year, after Google I/O, people were coming out to say AI, 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 AI. It was, they were talking about AI, but they didn't have any solid product then. But this year,
Mm,
they came to show workings and they showed us a lot of
mm.
interesting stuff. Now, my favorite is in a developer related project. It is the View 3 video generating model that they released. It's crazy,
Oh yeah,
right? So,
yeah, yeah.
I saw the test videos, they were amazing.
So it allows you to talk to videos, talk back to videos, right? So
I think it's more about generating. Yeah, so you can
okay, okay,
generate, now you can generate like a movie. So you can give it like a script and then it
okay.
generates the movie for you.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw maybe there
So
is another product I saw, which was I thought was fascinating, that you can
yeah.
talk to a video back. Like you're watching a video, I could pause and saying, "Wait a minute, can you explain me that again?"
Oh wow. Wow.
And it will
That
generate
would
it. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna runtime create that response for you.
create that video. Oh wow. That's, I mean, crazy things are happening. Crazy things are happening right now. I saw the videos that was generated by the Google Model View 3, and then I was like, you know what? I think it's high time we start thinking about blockchain and Web3. Blockchain is all about
You
identification.
you're throwing bunch of buzzwords there, man.
I mean, so blockchain, right, has a way, a deal on decentralization, right? So blockchain
Mm,
hashing might is going to be
mm.
very, very important in the future. And this,
I
I'm
think
seeing a
so too.
situation where we don't
Mm,
know when a video is original or when it's generated by AI. So we are going to start needing some sort of hashing
mm.
to say that, oh, okay, every video that's
Well, I
generated
mean,
by AI probably have to be
well,
hashed so that we know that
the argument could be made though that
yeah.
how do you know it's original? Just because I'm saying it's original, right?
So, so
I could use a generative AI to make a video and post it. In that
yeah,
sense, I will be the author of that video. Is that true? Right? That makes
yeah,
sense, right? I
yeah,
created
but
that
then
video.
you created this video using AI. That's what we need to know. So it's
That's
crazy
hard.
because
AI will be so blended in. It will be any video in. I mean, every video out there going to have some sort of AI component used to maybe
so
filter, maybe optimized.
so the guys at Diary of CEO, they experimented a situation where
Mm,
they
mm,
created an AI generated podcast. So
mm,
someone can come feed an AI
mm,
the previous episodes of this our podcast and then tell it
mm,
to generate a podcast
mm,
with our
mm,
faces and then talk about the different things so they can give it a different script, right? And the AI
mm,
is going to generate something like both
mm.
of us talking.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
original,
yeah, no,
right?
yeah, no,
So
no, yeah, yeah, no.
in that case, that one that was generated should have like a hash. So we can know that okay, yeah, this is the same thing. Yeah,
Mm.
new idea, but then
I
like
feel like, yeah, I know there are lots of attempts around this. I mean, you know how things works, right?
yeah.
You will do hash. I mean, somebody will figure out how to break that hash, right? So
Oh,
your model. I mean, it's just this fighting between. We had this time. I don't know whether it's still there. Um, Teachers were using like AI detection tool to figure out if the students are using AI to write their essays.
doesn't work again. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same sort of idea here. Here also things gonna where I mean I don't know whether it's 100% like a right answer to this, but I like what X does through community notes, right? I mean
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I give a lots of value to that. It tells me, hey, this video is fake, or this video is telling it's new but it's been done 10 years back or something. So
Oh,
same sort of distributed blockchain idea, but done through multiple. But that's the only way, right? I mean, if collectively people are saying that looks fake, I mean that's the only sort of way to sort of say that
it's
that's
it's
probably
fake.
true,
Yeah.
versus versus some newspaper is saying this is real, right? Why should I believe you?
Oh
Anyway, I'm
yeah.
getting political in here. Let's move on. Let's go talk about tech.
Let's move on.
So I know you have one Google story. You should definitely talk about that. But before you jump in, I will set the stage for you. So
Yeah.
I collected a couple of highlights from that. Like Precious said, obviously there are lots of stories that came out of this, but we want to stay focused on stuff that kind of matters to software developers or software development in general. So that's what we're focusing on, like
Yeah.
Gemini 2.5 enhancements. So the model Gemini 2.5 Pro, which I've been using as a default for my Agentic project. Okay, I mean, I'm very impressed with this model. I mean, overall it performs really well. I mean, argument could be made that whether it's better than O3 or not, I don't know yet, but it's a really good model. So turns out they
Yeah.
have added a new feature called Deep Think. I mean, most of this model is going for this sort of thinking mode. So giving
Thinking.
an
Yeah.
extended context, extended time, essentially, to
Yeah.
truly analyze and understand the problem.
Right.
So they add 2.5 Pro and 2.5 Flash models. Those have all now have native support for audio output. Okay, so we can start building, like, maybe you and I are not here. This is AI generated. How will you know, guys? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe
How would
we
you know?
generated this using
I
AI.
mean, what if we are not real? What if we are
We are not.
AIs?
We recorded this. We are actually parting somewhere right now. This has been pre-recorded. Uh, so
Yeah.
there is an AI mode for Google search right now. I think it's
Yeah.
enabled for anytime I go to Google search right now, which is rare becoming these days. But I have this AI mode on, which seems to be nice. I mean, I think it's more conversational that way. Obviously, AI Studio now have integration with this new latest Gemini 2.5 model and Google Code Assist. I think we covered the stories a few weeks back, which
Yeah.
is
We
a
covered
free
it
guide,
too.
free,
Yeah.
free VS Code extension. You guys should all try it out, which is also now
Yeah.
have support for the Google Gemini 2.5 Pro.
Yeah. I think
There
one
is
interesting
another.
thing. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go on. Go on. No, go
No,
ahead.
no, I was trying to set a cue for you. There really is another interesting thing called Jules. Precious, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Jules is I was confused a little bit when it started when I saw Jules because I already know about the Firebase Studio and then
Mm,
even the Gemini coding part of things, right? So when I
mm,
saw this, I was
mm,
like, so what's the difference? So I dig deep by a little
mm,
bit and I found out that it's asynchronous AI coding agent.
mm,
So
mm,
this is sort of what we have with our dev agent. If you've used our dev agent, you are here and
mm,
you use the Tublian dev agent, you will obviously understand how this thing works. So what this does is that it works behind the scene, just the way our dev agent works behind the scene. So it works in the background, tackling your coding backlog, fixing bugs, and even taking the first pass at building out new feature for you. This is integrated directly with your GitHub, close your repository. So what it does is that it actually just clones your repository into a virtual machine, right? And then it starts
mm,
working on that virtual machine, writing code, fixing bugs, creating new features for you. And then when it
mm,
is done, it makes a pull request, right? Now,
mm,
all you have to do is to look at your pull request and accept or reject. Basically, that's all you
mm,
have to do, right? So this
mm,
is more about letting developers get more creative. You guys know how all those stuff work, right? Now,
mm,
this streamlines one of the things that it also does is that it streamlines your workflow for you. So all you need to do is to check out GitHub pull request. Now, what I don't know is if it takes up issues just the way our dev agent takes up issues. I don't think it does that.
No, it
Now, I
does
may have.
actually. I played with it last night. It does.
Oh,
So I
it does.
connected to
Oh,
my I just pointed to my GitHub issues.
yeah.
Pointed and it was able to.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. So, I mean, just for you to focus on more high level value tasks and then,
Yeah.
automate all
Yeah.
those repetitive stuff. Now, which is interesting because I think few weeks ago we were asking if there is a market for if there's really a market for coding agents or assistant coding vibe
Mm,
coding tools, right? We saw
mm,
OpenAI bought Windsurf, right? And then
mm.
Google launched theirs. Everybody's launching something like that. And now
Yeah.
Google have like three, right? just Google have three of those tools. So
Mm.
is this going to be the future? Is this going to be what's going to catch on in the future? We don't know. But developers, this is good for you. You
Yeah.
might want to, you know, I don't know if it's good for you
It's
because
crazy how
it's good for
this companies are trying to replace us. It's just crazy.
it's just crazy. I mean, developers, I don't know. But good thing, this is
I was
assistant
impressed with so I played with a couple of issues with Jules last night.
Yeah.
I started with a very simple one. I have this repo that I use for testing all these agents and testing
Yeah.
our agent also. So this brings a lot of initially I felt it was very smooth. All I did is that I have already Google account. Almost everybody does it. You just say,
Yeah.
hey, connect to my GitHub. It will use your GitHub OAuth, so very smooth. And you pick whatever repositories you want to give that agent access to, and that's it. Then it will
Yeah.
ask you, hey, can I help you? Like anything. I mean, maybe should share a screen here. And you just put an issue URL there, GitHub issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it will try to work on that. I mean, I think it's great for any open source maintainers out there. No brainer, hands down.
Yeah.
But I
It's
think
amazing.
it falls down a little bit with, and it creates a pull request. And I have a pull request I created. Maybe I should share that with community here. I'll find that. And all this is great. But when I move to a little complicated stuff, obviously it sometimes skips things. It doesn't remember. So again, you have to do a bit of prompt engineering to make it very sure, because issues
Yeah.
doesn't have all lots of descriptions, right? So it have same sort of standard problems, but overall, I mean, I'm sure this sort of agent's going to get better and better. So I was
Yeah.
reflecting on saying that, dude, I mean, I spend way too much time building our dev agent, right? It was humbling experience for me. Obviously, this is Google and this is Neil, a small
Yeah.
guy from a small town. I mean, it's a big ship there. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty convinced that I want to open source our dev agent. I don't know. I
Okay.
know I haven't spoken with you about this, but I'm just making a bold announcement here. I think that's the
Yeah.
right move for us. I mean, I think if we truly want to, this will engage our community, everybody to jump in. Maybe we build a better version of better open source agent.
Yeah.
Because this
Yeah.
all agents, a fundamental problem is it's sort of controlled by these big companies, right?
Yeah. So that
The idea would
means
be, truly getting my own open source agent running on my own open source model in my machine would be
yeah.
where I think we should be heading to.
That will also make it free, and then everybody can.
Yeah, everybody free. And which brings up to my next story, which I want to cover before you go to, if you don't mind, Precious, is that
Yeah.
there is one story I wanted to cover, which, I mean, with all this stuff happening, I like how Mistral AI is going for, hey, we need to build a new frontier open source coding agent. Okay, so they
Yeah.
released a new model called let me find that in my notes here. Devstrel. It's an open source model. Obviously, this model is not Claude 4, right? It's
Yeah.
Claude 4. I think has around 80% success rate in SWE benchmark. This has only 46%, but this is a good start, right, guys? So
Yeah.
this is an open source model that you can download. It requires, I mean, its requirements are also pretty impressive. It just requires sort of one GPU. That means potentially a single RX GPU. Potentially you can run this model locally on your machine.
Yeah.
It's released under Apache 2 license, and it's available and free on Hugging Face. So let me share the link in here.
Oh,
So it'll
wow.
be cool if we open source our Toolean dev agent and have this agent
Yeah.
work with Devstrel. Then you completely have an end-to-end sort of open source coding agent on your toolbox that you can use on any projects you want.
Yeah, beautiful. That will make a lot. That will make a lot of sense. That will make a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
All right. So, I think it's time we get to LinkedIn for AI agents. I think I'm a little bit excited for that. LinkedIn for AI
Okay.
agents. Yeah. So let's hear it.
So this is something that we are building on top of our Toolean OS. Let me share the link in here, guys. Go check it out. And I will also drop the demo after we talk about this. So we're getting into the point where, so my fundamental belief is that that as we move into this, agent's going to become more powerful, right? And I believe every sort of application out there going to have some sort of agentic interface, right? We have to, like an MCP is solving a very interesting problem for all the agents, right? If an agent needs to connect to any external data source, MCP provides a standard for that. But there is still an issue of saying that's great, but if I want to use some agents for my stuff, like I want to build something, I want to market something, I want to sell something, I want to research something, there is not a single place where you can go and discover all these agents. So there's sort of a discoverability problem. And the second thing, you can still hear me, right, Precious?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Okay. The second thing is that this all great, but wouldn't it be nice to have this sort of this agents, like connect these agents with each other to build sort of new agent in aggregate? So almost like
Yeah.
Lego blocks. What if we can take all these agents, sort of combine them and create sort of new workflows or teams on demand?
Oh,
So
wow.
that's what we're going for. So that's why you're calling, like how LinkedIn sort of solved the problem for us professionals. What will a LinkedIn for AI agents going to look like? So,
Yeah.
I took a couple of weeks off essentially to hack on this. So that's what I created there. So we have a working prototype where anyone can, and this is my biggest goal for this, is to sort of open up for all the developers in our community and freelancers, and a way to build software, because why would big companies allow to build software apps and sell it? We all should be allowed to build our own software, in this case agents, put in the
Yeah.
marketplace and use that as a revenue opportunity for us, right?
Yeah.
I'm really good at this. How about I encode my skills into this AI agent, put it in a marketplace, and have it make money for me, like sort of a passive income while I do something else, right?
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
that's the
So,
general idea of this
so
agent link.
just to put it into practical perspectives, right? So
Okay.
you
Okay.
mean, let's say I create an AI agent that helps me read my Medium article every morning, give me like a summary of my Medium
Hmm.
article every morning,
Hmm.
right? And then that same agent, I can connect it to another agent that summarizes that Medium that make converts the Medium article summary into a LinkedIn post, and then
Yeah.
I have another agent that can make that post for me on social media.
Right.
I can have
Right.
all these
Right.
connected on
Now,
one platform.
called and the best part is all these agents could be implemented by different person, different company,
Oh
different
wow! So
organizations.
I
Really, it
can
doesn't
just
matter.
come in there and say AI agent for
Yeah,
my
plug and play. Plug and play. Almost like create your own sort of. Sounds like you want your research team. You create your own research team on demand.
wow.
This is possible because we are building on top of something called agent to agent protocol, right? So this is
Yeah,
again thanks to Google to come up with something like this. This is an open source protocol that allows, so essentially provides, we have devs in here, right? We can talk technical. It's essentially provides every agent to have sort of an universal interface.
yeah.
So you build an agent, I build an agent. We don't have to know each other or talk each other. I can
Our agent
discover
can
you.
just
Yeah.
yeah,
There is a way, there is first thing agent to agent provides is a discovery protocol. So there
yeah,
is a way to look up. So I will look up your agent. When I look up, I get something called agent card. So think of every agent will have a business card, their own business card, which will say, hey, I am this, hello, I am this, and this is what I can do, and this is how I do it. Okay. So I can
yeah,
discover your capabilities dynamically. So all I'm trying to do with Agent Link is essentially building this orchestration layer that takes all
yeah,
these capabilities and figures out, okay, so user wants this. User wants to aggregate all the latest AI news, okay, create
yeah,
interesting posts around that, and publish it on Twitter, right? This is your task, right? So what Agent
yeah,
Link can do then is that, okay, to accomplish this task, I have this 3 agents or 4 agents, or it really doesn't matter. What's the best way to organize these agents so that because I know their capabilities, and give them the task so that I can
yeah.
execute in the sequence. So like going back to old days, man, you're using Lego blocks to build new things. The same idea.
Wow, 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 wow. So guys, I'm trying to post this link on Twitter comments. So we have about 20 people watching on Twitter, just so that you guys don't miss out. So it's agentlink.network. Um,
Yeah, love to
just
hear
give
your
me a
feedback,
minute.
guys. I mean, and that's about it. I don't want to take too much time on this, but love to get your feedback. Let us know. One of the things that we are really working on, and if anyone is interested, being us, we know where to find us. We're building sort of a layer on top of that for builders, so that anyone can come and build their new AI agents. So you can come build,
Yeah.
publish,
So
and
so so
monetize it.
yeah. So I'm just trying to like break it down so that everybody can easily get it. So I can go on this platform and connect with any AI agent.
Correct.
So let's start from beginning. I can discover AI agents on this platform.
Correct.
I think that's like number one problem.
Mm.
So right, I want an AI agent that can help me order my food every morning. I can discover it on this platform. Problem one, right? Now, on this platform, I can be able to connect 5 or 6 AI agents together for them to be able to solve a particular problem for me, right? Now, I can, as a developer, list my AI agent on this platform
Mhm.
and then be able to make money from it
Mhm.
when people use my AI agent.
Correct.
Wow. And then I can even see an AI agent that I like that is not on this platform, and I bring it in and I launch. I just upload it on the platform myself and use it to do what I want to do.
Correct.
This platform. Be able to. Wow, wow, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah,
That's
I
interesting.
thought so
So
too.
guys, check it out. Check it out. Let us know what you think. You can drop a comment on Twitter. You can drop a comment on YouTube. Talking about comments, yeah, we have Lenka Bash Vanashka dropped a comment. He said hi. And we have Rashib Aya. Aya said you. All right, thank you guys for watching. Thank you very much. Shout out to you both, right, for joining us live. Okay, so I dropped the comment on Twitter, the link on Twitter, guys. So if you're on Twitter, just check the comments to the video. You're going to see the link to this. So it's LinkedIn for AI agents. Tell us what you think. Are there things you want to see, or do you have an AI agent and you want to have it on this platform, or you just have questions generally? You can comment on Twitter, or you can send a DM on Twitter. Our DM is open on Twitter. You can also join our Discord. If you check our Twitter profile, you're going to see the link to join Discord. Check us out there. And then yeah, I mean every other thing is there. So that is why the title for today is LinkedIn for AI agents. So you can drop us a comment. I'm looking at the comments even on Twitter, and I'm also looking at it on YouTube. So drop us a comment if you have a question about this tool. Tell us if you're going to use it. Tell us if you're not going to use it also. We'd love to hear from you. All right. So it's, as you can see, it's really an interesting week. And then we always try to bring you everything in a concise way, bring you all the things happening and then tell you the important stuff so you can just avoid the stressful ones, important stuffs only. That's what we do on this podcast. And then yeah, it's been an interesting conversation. Interesting conversation. Right. Interesting conversation. And you still want to say something else?
No, I'm good. Thanks, guys. Let us know what else we
Yeah.
can cover in this podcast. I was thinking, Precious, like there are a bunch of stories in our notes that we haven't talked about it. I feel like we should we should
Yeah.
we
A
should
lot of
find
them.
a place to publish this for folks at least who missed this. Maybe they can find it. Maybe a blog,
Yeah.
or maybe put it in the show notes here. Maybe put it in the chat. Let me know how you guys want us to share. Like a quick summary.
Yeah.
If you need a one pager of tell me what happened last week in AI, we can do that. We already have the
Yeah.
content, so let us know.
We can do that for you. Yeah. So just let us know. We can always wrap it up, and then we can even put it in an email format and send it to you. So you just subscribe and you get it every week. That will make a lot of sense. So just let us know. And then yeah, thank you very much for joining us. I think today we have close to 30 people join us live,
That's good.
and it was interesting. I
That's
think
crazy. We're
yeah,
becoming
very, very
interesting.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's becoming very interesting. right? So thank you very much, everyone that joined, those watching on YouTube, those watching on Twitter. Thank you for joining. Maybe we'll start streaming on LinkedIn and other platforms also, just so that we can have
Does
it
this
like
allows us, this
full.
REST stream allows us to do that?
Yeah, yeah,
We should totally do it.
yeah. We can
We
we
should
can stream
totally
on
do it
it
next week.
on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
All right,
should do
cool.
it. Yeah.
All right. Take care,
Sure.
guys. Thanks for
All
being
right.